Hey guys, welcome back to another Seb Shirts YouTube video, and today we have a rather special one. This is my video of a full restore of this Celtic 2013 away shirt. So yeah guys, we're restoring this back to its fullest. I got this on Vinted for really cheap. It was probably under £8. It's pretty battered, there's bobbles all over it, there's pulls, the sponsors completely come off, there's stains on the sleeves and everything. So we're going to bring the shirt back to life, give it a new sense of life really, make sure it doesn't get thrown away, and yeah, just give it a good old restore so someone can love it again. Obviously I won't be keeping this. I am an Arsenal fan, I don't collect Scottish League clubs at all. I have no intention of keeping this, but yeah, so we're restoring it today. We're going to put a name set on the back, getting patches, new sponsor put on there. As you can see, the first stage of this restore is to go over with the bobbler, get rid of any bobbles, loose pulls, threads and stuff, and get rid of those to freshen up the bottom, because the bottom was very bobbled. There is still some pulls present, but there's not much I can do about that, and I've used some small scissors just to get rid of the loose threads and any pulls, just to neaten it up a little bit at the bottom. So yeah, after doing all that, it looks a lot more fresh, looks a lot better. So the first thing we're going to tackle is the front sponsor here. So as you can see, the front sponsor has completely come off. There's just ghosting from the glue from the previous name sets, and we've got a brand new one to go back over the top. I got one that's slightly bigger just to make sure it covers the whole area. It's better than having it too small. We're not going to see any of that glue residue. So yeah, we'll get the heat mat underneath and get that all prepared for printing. So yeah, we use a bit of baking paper here, or heat proof paper, put it over there. I wanted to flatten it out because as you can see, that's a bit bent in the middle from where the sponsor's been off so long, the glue's hardened. So we're loosening it up a little bit, warming the glue up so the new sponsor sticks to it really well. That's the only thing having the advantage of having a bigger sponsor over the top and having that little bit of glue left. It will help it bond to the shirt better. But yeah, as you can see, one little heat press. That's flattened it back out again. The glue is still present, but we're sticking a new one over the top, so it's not the end of the world anyway. On these videos, printing videos especially, I always get asked, where do I get my prints from? So I get my prints from a couple of other places. I get them from a few prints from eBay. There's other sellers online like House of Name Sets I buy. Just make sure you're getting good high quality replacements. Obviously you're never getting an original Magnus print, but as long as you get a high quality new one, then it's fine, because you're not going to get one of those. But OJ's Football Shirts Restoration, if you follow him on Instagram, he has a shop where he sells prints as well, high quality ones. You want to get high quality ones. It's better to spend a little bit more money getting a good one than cheaping out. So I think this one cost me around £15–20, so it's a very good high quality. It's not like felt or anything, but the Magnus prints on these shirts weren't felt. But yeah, nice, good, high quality vinyl replacement here, and it goes on really nicely, as you'll see in a minute. So yeah, after heating it up for a little bit and pushing it down, I do a couple of presses, because I've only got it on 130, the temperature at the moment, because that's what the note with the thing, the replacement press came with. It said to do it 130, but I was finding it wasn't printing up a lot. So here's the close-up of the peel. It's the most satisfying part for me. It's just addictive. That's why I love doing these restorations and prints, because just that peel is absolutely delightful. I love that a lot. But yeah, do it over. It's always better to be slow and steady when doing it. You don't want to do like 160 and then burn the name set, because it's very easy to burn these. But since I got this cry cut, I used to print with irons, but since I got an actual heat press, this cry cut, it is a lot better. I literally just have to put a timer on, press it, it beeps when it's done, so it's really easy. I would highly recommend one of these guys. But yeah, I do another print over the top after I peel it off, just to make sure it's on there and it's flat and it's all set in. But yeah, as you can see, I think that looks absolutely fantastic. You wouldn't even notice that it's slightly bigger than the old one, but I think that looks absolutely superb, if I do say so myself. So the next stage of the restoration is I'm going to be adding some Champions League patches to the sleeves. I wanted to add the patches because on one sleeve you wouldn't have seen, but there was a blue ink, a circular ink stain on the sleeve. So I've replacing that with this Champions League patch. You're going to print it over the top. No one is going to even know. I had to do the patch slightly higher up than I would like, just to cover up that stain, but it still looks good. I don't think many people are going to notice, but I've stuck it a little bit higher up than I'd like. But it went on there perfectly well. If I remember, I'll show a picture up on screen if I've got one of what the mark. Actually, you can see there. Actually, yeah, you can see where the blue mark is on the sleeve. But because it's slightly higher up, I've just stuck the Champions League patch slightly higher up. It's better than putting the Champions League patch lower down and still seeing that. So, but yeah, I've put it back over the top. But I think it still looks really good. I don't think you're going to really notice. And as I'll show you at the end of the video, the shirt fully restored, you're not really going to notice unless you're looking really closely and comparing it. But yeah, it's not like loads higher, it's not like up on the shoulder, it's in the middle of the sleeve. If this was a modern shirt, the respects badge would go underneath, so this tends to be how high up they're done now, but back in the early 2010s and 2000s they were a bit lower down because there wasn't arm sponsors. So obviously now multiple teams have arm sponsors, so you can only put the patches on one sleeve, but back then the Champions League patch would go on the left hand side or right hand side, and then the respect patch goes on the other sleeve. So the Champions League patch would used to go a bit lower, but just done it up a bit higher, as I've said, because of the stain. But it looks pretty good to me. It went on in the first heat press, it went straight on, and then I always do one more just to make sure it's all down and flat. It's better to be safe than sorry and do 2 lower heat presses than 1 really high and possibly burn the shirt itself or the patch. So because when I first started printing, when I used to use an iron, I did burn a shirt. Luckily it was just one of mine and it wasn't like a really expensive shirt, but you've got to always be careful, especially printing at home. But I always also use heat proof tape on here. Well, so some patches come with the film, like with name sets, but this one doesn't. It's just a patch with the glow on the back. So always use heat proof tape to hold it down, because you don't want it moving as you're printing. And I always like to put a bit of cardboard in between the sleeve and the heat mat, just so it keeps it flat, because sleeves tend to bunch a lot and you don't want to print it on if the shirt's got a little fold, so you want to keep it flat with some cardboard just to make sure you are getting it flat down on there, because the last thing you want to do is heat press that down and then afterwards realise there was a crease in the sleeve, because there's literally no way of getting that crease out after the patch has gone down. And as you can see, the respect patch goes on the other sleeve, because back then they used to do that. Obviously now they go on the same sleeve, but back in the early 2010s they would go on separate sleeves. So yeah, I picked the Champions League patches and name set for this one just because there's not a lot floating around. I researched online to see the name sets and the patches required for the shirt, because I'm not an expert on Scottish football, but Celtic are always in the Champions League. It's always a really nice thing to put on. All of the other shirts I saw were all Scottish League ones, so I thought I'd create a more unique shirt here. It wasn't the best season for Celtic. They did get knocked out in the group stages, if I do remember correctly, but we've stuck the Champions League patches on here anyway, because I have gone for the cup name set. As you can see in the back there, I went for the cup name set for this shirt instead of the SPL, the Scottish Premier League patches name set, because I do think the Scottish one, the Celtic Cup one looks a lot better than the Scottish League one anyway. I think it looks really class, and we are obviously, as you can see in the background, going for Virgil van Dijk, probably the best centre back past the 2010s, I would say. Maybe Sergio Ramos, but Virgil is definitely probably the best player in the team at that time, so we have gone for Virgil van Dijk for the back. But yes, this is the second patch going on there. Nicely went on there really well, and yeah, that's the sleeve patches done. So up next it will be adding the name set to the back. There isn't a name set on the back of the shirt, I'm just adding one on there just because I think it'll complete it with the patches and the sponsor replacement. I just think it looks nice and it'll complete the restoration, and there isn't many Van Dijk Celtic shirts floating about anyway, so it does make it a nice unique shirt. I don't think this is going to be around for long. I'm going to be listing this on my Depop and Vinted reseller pages, so if you're interested in picking this shirt up, head down there. If you message me and you were sent from this video, then I'll give you a cheeky 10% off. But yeah, that is the front of the shirt done. I think that looks really nice, looks a lot better than what it was before. And yes, we're going on to the back straight away, adding that name set, and yes, it just looks absolutely amazing. Wait till the end, guys, to see the final product. It looks absolutely superb. I'm really happy with this restoration. It all went perfectly well. I've got used to using the heat press now. I don't know if you saw my other video, it was the first time I've used this heat press, and I did a few shirts, bit of trial of error with those, but this one went absolutely perfectly well. The only thing with this heat press is it's not large enough to do the number and the name set as well at the same time, so I do them separately, just to heat press that down with some, obviously stuck it down with heat proof tape to keep it in place, and then the same process as it was with the sponsor. Press down once, check if it's solid, and then heat down again a second time round, make sure that prints down. It does take a bit of trial and error. This one was a bit stubborn, so it was in stages. I had to heat press it about 3-4 times before it all came off, but I'd rather keep it at a lower setting and then doing it like that than possibly overheating it. But yeah, took 3 or 4, but you've got to be patient. It's a work of art really, but yeah, just got to be patient and peel it off one by one. You can always just peel it off letter by letter gradually, but this print comes all together. If you're getting like Premier League lettering, they usually come individually, so you can just heat press them one by one, but this one is all one sheet, so it presses down there really well. Once again, I got this name set from a seller on eBay as well. This is another high quality print as well. I think this one was around £20. Obviously it's a replica, you're not going to be able to find an original name set for this, but yeah, as you can see, I've already heat peeled most of it off already, but it was just a bit stubborn. But yeah, it all came off eventually and it looks really good. But yeah, always after I finish peeling, I do one last press once the plastics come off, just to make it sure it's in place. And yeah, it went down perfectly well, and yeah, I think it looks absolutely lovely. And up next will be the number 5, and it's exactly the same process as the other parts of the shirt. So if you guys are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be absolutely lovely. We're aiming for 2,000 subs on the channel. We're up to 1.3k, so I'm really thankful for everyone who's already part of the channel. I really appreciate all the likes and comments I get. It's a very positive channel over here. Obviously I can see how many likes to dislike ratio. I barely get any dislikes, so I'm really thankful for everyone's feedback. If you do prefer this camera angle or just a stationary camera angle, also let me know in the comments. On my last video, most people were saying they preferred this like body camera, so I decided to use it for this video. But I will be creating a shorts of this shirt restoration using the other angle anyway, so if you do prefer that form, then let me know in the comments. But really enjoyed the shirt restoration, looking forward to doing some more in the future. I always look around on Vinted and stuff to see and find, because it's really good, because obviously damaged shirts with sponsors falling off and stuff are always really cheap, so it's not like too expensive me restoring these shirts. It tends to be way more expensive to actually buy the name sets and patches and stuff than the actual shirt itself. Like as I said, the shirt was well under £8. I'm pretty sure it was around £6 because of the condition it was in, but the name sets and the prints probably cost me around £30-40 altogether to fully restore the shirt. But it's better than it just getting thrown away. It's giving it a new lease of life. And yeah, it's always sad seeing football shirts get ruined, but the peel on this 5 was really satisfying. All came off in one go. Absolutely satisfying. You can't beat that at all. I think peeling is much better than bubble wrap, to be honest. But yeah, here's a close-up of that peel. Oh, absolutely satisfying. You cannot tell me you didn't love that as well. But that is basically the whole shirt restored. So as you can see, here's the front, looks lovely. The only downside to the shirt is obviously some of the pulls to the bottom of the shirt, but the rest of it does look really nice. And yeah, really happy with this one. I'm going to show it on the hanger here. And yeah, there's the shirt fully restored. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you enjoyed the video and if you think that was worth restoring. I think that looks absolutely amazing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, let's check some close-ups of the shirt for the outro. Thank you once again, guys, for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. TTFN, peace out.